The idea for this piece did come up when we were making the Quiet volume all those years ago, so that's more than 10 years ago now. And the idea of making a piece just for pencil, paper, eraser kind of stayed on the shelf for a decade. And then at a certain point we thought, yeah, let's try that, let's do it. And we started making it, and then the pandemic hit. So to begin with, we were doing it mostly at Tim's place on the kitchen table, also a little bit on the train in between Brussels and Berlin, and then in various other random spots. And after the lockdowns, we were making it a lot on Zoom, actually, remotely. So we were able to continue the process like that. So the piece, it kind of is very light in its demands on a material level. And we've even been able to share it also through the pandemic a little bit with also other countries. Chile was shown while things were still locked down here. There was a different season there. So it's kind of nice how that's managed to kind of survive certain kind of temporalities. Tim and I are back in Lisbon with another autoteatro piece for two people with headphones. So we were here with the Quiet volume some years ago, which was also for two people with headphones, but for a library, in a working public library with people around you busy with their work or their reading. And that piece invited you to go into a kind of experience of silent reading together at the same time, with the same basic kind of format of headphones guiding you with synchronized soundtracks. So each person hears something different, but it draws you into little actions with your finger, following text and pointing and so on. And this time it's very similar because two people are again sitting next to each other, but this time your actions are more about drawing and making marks on the page. It's simple piece of paper, pencil, and eraser.
A couple of people step through into this forest. Slowly start to move your finger over to a spot a little up and to the right. One of them starts to move.
The soundtrack guides you about making the little marks. Of course, it's not everybody who can do fantastic drawings. The idea is to really work with the bare minimum of what everybody can do. And these things take on a life and a kind of an energy as they grow on the page, as they're erased, and that goes together with an increasingly kind of energetic and carnivalesque soundtrack of things happening on the page. Autoteatro, we call it the Italian name because I was working to begin with an Italian artist, Silvia Mercuriali. We did about 10 years together, and the last piece we made was called Etiquette, which was also the first of what we called autoteatro. And all the years before, many of our shows were with instructions to unrehearsed guest performers who we would invite on stage, where the audience knew that they were watching somebody who had no idea about what was going to happen. So you're discovering everything together with that person on the stage. And after about 8 years of these experiments and many different pieces, some of them also here in Portugal, we flipped it. So we kind of invited the audience to have that experience of being unrehearsed, as well as having the experience of watching a show, if you like. And the first piece was this kind of using conversation as a model for performance in some ways. And we thought, well, when we speak, there's always somebody taking these decisions, performance decisions, how you speak, what you look like, and somebody who's listening. And we used that kind of agreement as a model. We called that autoteatro with that first piece, and then with different collaborations afterwards, I've done many different pieces like that, including 3 with Tim, and this is the third. So this time, Not to Scale is being shown in this great place called the Brotteria. So it's off-site insofar as it's not in Teatro Bairro Alto. The piece is very often shown in different kinds of places which are nice to be in, which have a certain calm to them, which breathe, and which maybe are also places in the city where you haven't been before. I mean, I've talked about this to a lot of people, and some people don't know about the Broteria. It seems like quite a well-kept secret. I know that if I lived in Lisbon, I would come and work here. It's kind of in between a library reading room, actually, similar to the kinds of places that we would show the quiet volume, and a co-working space, and there's also the cafe, the beautiful patio for when the weather's good. So it's a real treat to be showing it here.